Dragon wing.
The note says, the tavern keep put up a fight, so had to put him down. Just go back from where you came. You have been warned. Yours, the fire knives.
Yeah.
First thing I do is...
Well done, cop. Good job.
While they're fighting it out, I tentatively pick up the knife, wipe off the blood and pop it in my
They were after something. I stopped them, and if we were all protective of the chicken, then this wouldn't have happened. I give her...
Violence doesn't always have to be the answer. Come on, man.
They were going to use violence against us.
I think it might be now. Let's get that guy back.
No,
I don't entirely disagree with that sentiment, Tiefling.
You hear a couple of shrieks and gasps from the top of the stairs, and you also see the tavern keep's mother. She's unharmed. Other guests are filing down, and they're looking at just the ruin in the floor. It looks as if there have been a couple of scuffles, a few fights, and there are no non-servants who are dead, but the servants are.
I turn to Oscar and I say, Oscar, do what you do best. Calm that woman down.
Yeah, I speak to the assembled, the mother and the assembled patrons, and I I sort of effectively give like a short reading. I utter a short hymnal from Cormyran history, just blessing the dead, and obviously I pray to Ogma, and I gesture to our paladin, and I say, Jacob, you're a man of faith. Could you give Valela the peace that she deserves with regards to her father?
Jacob steps forward and says, "Dear Valela, something terrible has happened here, and I will ensure that justice is done and vengeance is taken upon those who committed this terrible, terrible crime."
And
So say we will.
And Jacob, she looks at you, and you think there are tears brimming in her eyes, and she cups one of your cheeks with one hand, and she says,
"Yes, I like it quite milky, please."
she sits down and just stares up at the stage again, smiling.
Oh boy.
While this is happening, can I cloakroom? Mm-hmm. Any chance of like looking at a few other lockers to see if there's anything of note?
Some of the guests have had the same sort of idea, and they've gone to the lockers, they've started collecting their belongings. You don't see weapons exactly, you just see a bit like an airplane, some odds and ends that could have been used to stab or knife something, lesser openers, that kind of thing.
I start flashing my Baldur's Gate City Watch badge around.
Outside your jurisdiction.
We agree. Okay. I've got the means to impersonate a city watchman. Yep. Okay.
And I asked to go back behind the bar to see if into the barkeep's office. Is that?
There's no barkeep's office. I mean, you find there's like a kitchen. There are the kind of ledgers, some financials and things like that. But actually, through the front door, which is open, you do spot a pair of watchmen, and they're speaking quietly, and they're looking at the outside of the tavern.
I turn up and say, "Boys, what we got in there?"
And
outside,
classic smash and grab cake.
How many dead servants we got? Baldur's Gate, PD,
and
BGPD.
Yeah.
Outside, the morning air is kind of cool, crisp, but still quite early. The two watchmen, they look quite ragtag. One of them's quite stocky, one of them's quite thin. They have these mismatching sets of armour. They've got these dented helmets, and their short swords are strapped to their sides. Actually, be surprised if they'd ever drawn those short swords. They look almost new. But they say, "Oh, murder, is it?" And he looks past you, the stocky one, into the tavern, and shakes his head and goes, "Ooh, looks like a bad business. Come on, Petri." And the two of them turn and they begin to walk away.
I'm not interested in them walking away in the slightest.
Though you don't see this.
I say to them,
just Cassius outside at this point.
What do you know about the...
In the meantime, some of the patrons inside, they're kind of crying. Some people are weeping and they're gasping. A few people are being sick.
I say, boys, what about these fire knives? Are they still under Bleth's control?
They look at each other, and the stocky one smirks, And the thin one just he's got freckles all over his face. This little short bowl haircut just kind of goes. And the stocky one says, "Oh, I can see you're not from around here, son." And then he just makes to walk away again.
I throw a little dagger at their feet.
Okay.
Just a little dagger.
Just a little dagger, and I say, don't walk away from one of your fellow kinds. We can learn from each other. Have some respect.
Let's get just a straight dexterity throw.
Yeah. You're going to stab a policeman.
10.
10. All
You've
right.
hit him in the ankle.
The knife goes through the stocky one's cuff. Oh! He falls to the floor, and the one identified as Petri, the thin one, just.
And yeah, exactly. As your friend laugh. But have some bloody respect.
My bleeding calf! He's got my bleeding calf!
You can grow a new calf.
The rest of you hear this commotion.
I was going to say,
Jacob runs out and he goes over to the stricken man and says, "This is going to hurt to start with." Pulls the dagger out.
No!
And then wraps hand round the calf and heals him.
Okay.
And I
wound
look over
closes.
to you and it's like, you're too good to these people. They're hiding Bleff's corruption in this area.
Well, that as may be, but they are afraid and we shouldn't hurt them.
The stocky one stands up and goes, "That's right. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave John Damakar Bleth and his knives to his own business." And then he goes, "Come on, Petri." And Petri's still kind of, yeah.
And where did you, and I turn around and say, "And where did you say we could find this Bleth?"
"Westgate, of course." And they stalk off.
Well, we need to do this before the cockatoo wrangling.
You see a couple of other watchmen. They give this customary, just checking. And they sort of nod.
We're
and
not
keep
going to
walking.
get any information from the
People around
the authority around here. We need to take the authority into our own hands. And sometimes we need to get our hands dirty. And if you guys don't want any part of this, then stay here. But there's a chicken that needs rescuing.
Never have I been so moved to bravery.
That chicken is gonna give me the money to find my daughter
Do you hear that?
and avenge my dead wife.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Cue titles: Dragon Wings, Dragon Wings. We're on an adventure.
So just to clarify, Cassius, you want us to go and march up to the head of a thieves' guild in a city we don't know to demand the return of a magical chicken.
I want us to go to Westgate. I want us to ask around, find if anyone's seen a pig-like chicken being carried through the streets. And yes, if it means going to Bleff's court and tearing shit up, then yeah, I want you to do that.
Cassius, I don't always approve of your methods, but I think my God is telling me this is the right thing to do.
So of course, your god wants to rescue a chicken.
I will follow you to rescue this chicken.
You tasted those wings,
And they were good.
and they brought a tear to your eye.
And you've still got
tear.
you still got your friend Old Ven's note, and spattered in blood now. It still reads, look after Pluckers. He's a good lad.
Look, if any of you want to stay here, then stay here.
I look harassed and annoyed that I have to spend any more time with these
You're gone,
idiots. But I think there's money in this chicken. And one thief
golden
can
in our chickens.
take on another. So with great reluctance and a lack of anything better to do,
Yeah, that's important.
I will come with you.
Nice. So what are your movements here? It's kind of early morning. You're starting to see people going about their business. You can hear a lot of noise coming from the docks, it being a mercantile town. You can hear the sounds of, men and women calling out to one another, dock hands probably.
How far is
Okay.
I was going to say, OOC,
Westgate from here?
are we
From,
we're not going to wait for the farmer's market
here.
then?
They said it would go on for a couple of days, didn't
true.
they?
That is true.
I guess we need to maybe quantify a bit more.
we can go and
How
come
far
back.
away is where the farmer's market is?
Market should be beginning this morning, just outside the city limits, beyond the walls.
How far for us to get there? Now?
20, 30 minutes, something
So should
like
we go and check out what's going on, see how long we've got, and then from there we might be able to find something.
Yes,
that can-
see if we can
Do
find
we
some
want to?
cockatrice
So
bread.
in the market, we can go and get the cockatrice spice breath before getting the chicken back.
It said expose the rub for 8 seconds. So presumably to the cockatrice breathing on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
So you go and do that and then go and get
Yeah.
pluckers.
Okay.
Depends how much money you want to make, I
Make for
suppose, because we're
Westgate.
not going to have any wings to sell, are we?
No.
Right?
That's a good point.
I guess at the very least we could find out how long they're there. It's only 20 minutes. Seems to make sense.
Let's investigate the farmer's market.
Cassius was intrigued about going through a farmer's market, remembers them fondly, likes to have a good olive stuffed with garlic.
Osgarin was brought up following his dad around markets trying to find the cheapest vegetables or beer or whatever, hiding from annoyed shopkeepers or patrons. Kind of natural to him. He was shit at it as a kid, shit at it as an adult.
I think Jacob was just along for the ride at that point. He absolutely loves a sourdough.
Delicious rustic bread. What the fuck?
You make your way to
Probably has some
the
great cheese as well.
Some avocados.
Lovely, some bread, some sourdough.
This is the most delightfully millennial game of Dungeons and Dragons. You're off to save a farmer's market.
get some wonderful Indonesian food, some
Are there
truffle
tacos?
oils.
I like tacos.
Who doesn't like tacos?
Yeah, right.
Actually, Oscarin doesn't like.
I was going to say, is that someone's major character quirk? I actually don't like
Yeah, this is
tacos
right.
or any Mexican
Yeah,
food.
Tacos, yeah.
Wait, you hate Mexicans?
No,
We're
just
going to
that
drain.
Oh, just
We're
that-
going to
okay.
drain the swamp.
You head to the northern quarter of Tesia and out beyond the North Gate, where you know the market is from the flyers. There you can see, still morning, a lot of wagons and caravans heading from the docks. You can see people unloading.
So I just head up to the nearest person unloading, grab the poster out of my pocket and pop in on my nicest voice. So we're looking to get some cockatrice breath, and I was under the impression this might be the place to come. Can you point us in the right direction?
Okay, and you're speaking to an elf, and actually all the people here look rather relatively exotic.
Yeah.
You know, like so far the populace of Tesia have been altogether human. It's actually kind of standout and unusual that one of those finalists, one of the thugs you remember, was a half-orc.
Okay.
In and of itself. It kind of identifies their non-locality to this particular city. But all the same, the person, the elf squints at you and says, "Cockatrice. Oh, you mean one of Marcel's monsters?
Very good. Where can I find Marcello?
I don't believe he's here yet." And he kind of looks around. "No, I don't see him. He very obvious, very big stall that he has."
And what does he look? What does he look like? I could keep an eye out. You know,
Oh, he's
I
a
don't want to miss him.
funny little man. Funny little man.
Do you know what time he usually arrives? I got told he'd probably be here this morning.
Well, the market will not be open for another couple of hours.
Oh, okay.
I just lean over and say, "Do you mean like little, as in small human, or little as in halfling and dwarf?"
That could be great. Because that could be kind of racist.
Yeah.
If that's what you're
Exactly.
implying.
I'm just saying, funny little man can mean many things. I kind of want you to narrow it down.
I just
he
pop
says-
my tail over his mouth and say, I'm really sorry about him. We just really need to see him. And I just want to make sure we don't miss him.
No,
you know.
no problem at all. And
These
so- and
humans,
sorry.
honestly.
I'm sorry, me common not so good, but to clarify, by dwarf you mean haha me mine with pickaxe, or you mean dwarf genetic idiosyncrasy?
the former, good sir.
Oh, okay. No, he's just a little man, little human, funny.
So, if you could just point me
Makes
in
him
the
so
direction.
funny.
Like funny, haha.
Once again, I put my tail over his mouth, but then I sort of push him quite hard backwards. And I say,
Okay.
could you just point me in the direction where he'll set up his stall, and I will leave you be. And thank you so much for your help.
All right, let's get a strength roll. I'm going to contest this against him trying not to be pushed.
Okay.
He's going to roll a gentleman's 9.
I was pushing
Oh, sorry.
Cassius.
Against Cassius. I misunderstood.
Oh,
So-
sorry. No, I'm being nice to
Cassius-
this guy. Cassius is just being an
Cassius
irritant.
just gets pushed back.
So I'm
Fine.
just
Yeah.
popping
Cassius,
my tail in his mouth,
you-
push him backwards.
Cassius, are you willing or are you going to try and contest this?
I'm not contesting it.
All right.
Like, I know that's...
He sees where she's coming from, frankly.
So, I'm quite,
I get it.
yeah, all right.
I'm quite intimidated by this, like, 5-foot tail, and every time it touches me,
mean, aren't we
I just
all?
want to back away.
Man, the tail envy on this guy.
There's something Freudian going on here.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it would just be really great if you could just point me in the direction where he sets up and we'll let you get on with your job. And thank you so much.
He also funny human. And he kind of shakes his head and returns to setting up a stool. Now, here's something interesting. You recognize somebody.
Okay.
Oh.
You see a half-orc, rather familiar, bandana across his right bicep.
Okay.
And he's finishing a deal with a merchant. And he hoists this sack across his shoulder, nods, pays the man presumably some coin, and stalks off.
Okay.
Let's follow him.
Yep. Do you want to? Should we maybe talk to the guy that?
I mean, I'm not that sneaky.
I'm very happy to follow in that
Yeah,
case.
nor am I.
Hey,
It's not
no
my thing.
metagaming.
Well, I'm saying, one, I'm not metagaming. I'm saying I'm not very sneaky. I'm not very good at following anybody.
You follow me.
I'm
You followed me to this market.
Yeah, but that's completely willing.
I think he walked.
Yeah.
How
You follow me.
successful a cop were you?
Pretty successful.
Right. Okay, good.
Very perceptive.
Look, someone needs to talk to that. While you guys are fucking about, he's getting away. Someone needs to talk to that guy that he just paid. Find out
Okay, I'll
what's
go
going
talk
on.
to the guy. You go after the half-orc.
Okay.
Hear the half-orc laugh. He's just pushed over somebody.
In a very subtle manner, I pop up my hood and stow my tail
Stow it.
into my large
You're
pants.
tucking it
Yeah.
up to the waistband. Yeah, that's
In a
right.
drag queen styling.
That is an ambitious tuck.
And
I picture you wearing like parachute pants.
Yeah.
So, like, empty
Yeah, just
hand
curled up. Yeah.
exactly. The hammer tuck, as it's known.
And I sort of stick to the shadows and the edges, and I just kind of follow behind him. Maybe, like sort of 20 foot behind him.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing in the meantime?
I'm going to help up. Oh, guys, he's such a goody, isn't he? Jacob's going to go over and help up the person that all just pushed over. Because
Okay.
it's what he'd do.
Nice. So, young man, and he thanks you as you kind of grab him by the wrist and hoist him up.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Dimitri?
It's not Dimitri. It is Dimitri too.
Dimitri de.
Dimitri da.
Ah, Dimitri de. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
I give him a slap on the shoulder and he goes about his day.
I go up to the man that the half-orc was bartering or trading with.
Right.
What, morning?
Morning.
Morning.
Well, I'm new to these parts. What do you sell?
He goes, oh, lots of things, lots of odds and ends. Over here we've got grain. Here I've got some lovely rice. Here I have some cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Anything you need,
And
really.
and I say, and I sort of lean in a little bit between and look conspiratorially around me. Between you and me, I'm looking for something a little more exotic, and I was told that this farmer's market might be the place to find it.
Oh, I don't have anything exotic per se.
Oh, per se, well, maybe you and I could come to some sort of deal about.
No, come on. And he kind of gestures to an assistant and says, per se, over here. Per se, can you deal with this gentleman? And the boy squares up to you and goes, yes, how can I help?
I would like to try and deceive.
Little Percy.
I'd like to try and.
I think you were saying that to per se. I would like to.
I'd like to try and
deceive you.
hoodwink them into believing that I am here to collect a delivery. So say, yes, per se. I'm here for the parcel.
He says,
I was told you'd be expecting me.
oh, I'm not expecting anyone. We're just here to deal with the market.
And do I get a sense that he's lying?
Insight?
Insight.
Just an insight check.
Insight.
See if little Perse's deceptive.
4
4. You think he's on the level.
on level. Look, I saw that half-orc walking off with a package, and I want what he's having.
Oh, very good. And then he walks behind the stall, and then he returns with the sack and he hands it over to you. That'd be 1 silver, please.
I have a look in the sack.
Yep.
What's in it?
Grain.
Cool. And I just chicken grain. Oh shit! This that's not fit for humans, is it?
He goes, oh, no. Well, it's funny, that gentleman there, he was asking about what was best to feed a chicken. So I assumed
I
the
figured as much.
grain.
How much was he asking for it?
1 silver, please.
I say, that's a rip-off. I'm going elsewhere.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah. I'll come back. I like it. I'll come back. I'll come back later.
Do you do
come
the
back
finger
in a
test?
bit.
You just put a finger in it and taste it.
Yeah, that's great. That, and I follow after nothing.
Okay.
And I'm going to follow after you, says Jacob.
By then, they go about their business.
Trailing on.
What you do?
Meanwhile, nothing. Let's get a stealth check.
Stealth.
Following this half orc through the crowds.
6.
6. You trip and land in the mud. The half orc turns and looks over his shoulder.
And I put my face straight into the mud.
Jacob wouldn't have done a better job. He didn't think too harshly of that as far as that sort of stealthy pursuit stuff goes. Again, that's not really Jacob's kind of area.
When you've got a 5-foot tail, you've just got to make those rolls.
Osgaren initially laughed that Nothing, for all of her roguish stealthiness, wasn't able to sneak through a marketplace, but then realised that he got kicked in the balls and had his nose broken after asking how to find a pub.
Quick thinking. I think she was quite pleased that she managed to cover up her errors.
Yeah, pretty embarrassing, I think. You're trying to kind of vaguely impress a new group of people and then you fall over and sing a song. Wasn't ideal.
Fortunately, between the crowds and this lone stumble, he doesn't seem to notice you. Keeps on walking.
I take advantage of them. I sort of smear it onto my face a little just to hide that orangey hue.
Predator.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good
And
camo.
continue to follow. This time, sticking back a little further as clearly my stealthiness has somewhat escaped
All
me.
right, let's get another stealth check.
9.
Okay, you simply cannot get that tune from last night out of your head. What is the name of it again?
The blind woman in the sea.
The blind woman. You just start not even humming, just kind of singing.
And quickly using my thaumaturgic cantrip, I throw my voice across to the other side of the alleyway
Nice. All right. He
before
kind of,
disappearing into a recess.
kind of twitches as if to listen from that direction, and then sort of shrugs and keeps on moving.
Sweet. Just while I'm following behind him,
Yes.
I just want to. Does there appear to be any kind of movement in that sack? Does it look like our chicken pig could be in there?
So far, no. It looks way too small for the chicken.
Okay.
Way too
Also
small.
that.
We're talking
Let's
like
talk about this chicken pig again.
It's like a Great Dane, right?
He's a half orc, right? He's huge. You could
That is true. That is true.
How do I convey the size of this pig?
He's a
this
pig.
massive, like it's this enormous. It's like a boulder with feathers.
But half orcs are fucking huge, right? He could be carrying the bowl with
but
feathers.
this sack is not.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
they
So
are
it's
big,
not.
aren't
It's
they?
not. It's
Like
not the chicken
6'5".
pig.
This sack looks like a large, thin, 5p, not 20p Sainsbury's bag,
Sweet. Okay.
full of like something kind of half full.
Okay. So it doesn't look like there's anything that it can immediately gain by me trying to
No.
interrupt him, grab anything. So I'm just gonna try my hardest to follow without singing,
But-
falling over, farting.
With these horrific stealth checks,
Yeah.
you're just kind of stomping and sloshing around between the crowd, and you really do have to keep your distance, and you actually begin to
Lose
lose
him.
the half orc. But soon enough, he breaks free of the market crowd, staying outside the city walls, and heads firmly west, which is the opposite direction to Westgate. Heading out along the, and it looks like he's sort of looping around the city, heading back onto the Traders Road. So I guess you kind of potter back to your chums in the farmers market, which is still setting up. It's early morning.
Chums.
Crisp air.
Strong word. Strong word.
Chums, acquaintances,
Finding my way there.
common friends of Ven, with the Ven connection.
Companions.
I lost him,
But you have a firm lead.
but I know where he went.
Okay, where?
Followed him out of town.
Where did he?
And then he went west. He was actually heading away from Westgate, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if we get a fucking move on, we could catch up?
I think so. I certainly know which way he went, and I don't know if there's many roads going that way. I think he's
Well,
got
tell
one
us,
main route to
tell us
follow.
where you left him, and maybe we can see some tracks and follow his tracks.
Yeah, so, well, I can show you if you want, if we're all going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's catch up to him.
Follow me, kids!
Let's get little plucker back.
Let's do this. Yeah, so when we reach the point where I kind of lost him, I just point out over to the west, one single road, as far as I can see at the moment. That's the direction that you went.
Nice. Now, when you were solo hood up with your cloak and things, you were moving pretty surreptitiously,
Yeah.
unaccosted through the crowd. Actually, as a group, collectively, as I said, even in this sort of more mercantile crowd, different races, different backgrounds and things, you guys stick out completely, and you're attracting a lot of attention. You're getting a combination of stared down by some, You see a couple of knuckles cracking.
Because of my dreads?
Yeah, because of your dreads.
Because
And my tail.
Essentially.
My tail's still in my trousers, to be fair.
Yes. But particularly...
Get it out for the lads.
Oscarin in particular, and Nothing as the half-elf and tieflings of the group. You're the ones garnering the most attention. The rest of you are seen as accomplices.
That's how it goes.
Muddying the bloodlines.
Yeah.
But you make your way through. So, Cassius, I'm going to have you do a perception check.
Pretty good. 19.
19. You notice and suddenly, almost instinctively, grab the wrist of a rather thin-looking man with a ragged beard. He looks up at you with wide eyes, and he was just moments away from snatching your purse.
I say,
Bastard.
my purse.
Coin purse, yeah. On the end of your leather thong dangling
When you don't
away.
use the word coin in front of it, it does sound
Your
quite
purse.
girly.
Yeah.
My lovely purse.
My wallet.
My Hello Kitty.
Yes.
I turn to him and say, be on your way, sir. Don't ever try that with my party again.
And he yanks his hand back and he goes, "Oh, thank you, I will. And he disappears.
And then I grab him by the collar before he runs off and says, and tell your friends to stop bloody staring. It's rude to stare at other
Strangers.
yeah, it's rude to stare at strangers. And then throw him to the ground.
And he falls to the ground. And some of the others who are listening to that, you actually see them kind of actively turn away, go back about their business, tend to their conversations or stalls.
He does me nut, but I'm quite pleased by that, actually. I'm quite happy he's defended me there. That's
say-
noted.
We are of the same. We are motherpluckers.
One tribe.
That's like just strumming out just the first few refrains of when two tribes go to war.
Jesus.
Ba-ba-da-ba-bam, bum-ba-da-ba-dum.
And then I say, you have ruined the moment somewhat with that, but thank you. And then I carry on walking.
So we get to the spot where like this little half orc disappeared.
Yeah, you actually leave the crowd, passing. So you're outside the city limits at this point. You're making your way, threading from the north round, counterclockwise around the city to the west, and you get back to the traders'
Is
road.
there an obvious trail or like footprints that he's left?
Let's get a survival check from you, Cassius, as you're the one looking for this.
Survival. 16.
Yes. You see fresh tracks on top of the other tracks, and they're pretty thin here because most people are going via the west gate to the traders' road.
So I go
and
down.
You see some pretty clear tracks.
I go down, take a knee, pick up a bit of dirt, smell it.
Classic.
A little bit of taste on the tongue.
He's
be like,
close.
he definitely came this way.
Nice.
Probably straight on, follow these tracks, but it looks like he was carrying a
Heavy weight.
heavy weight of grain, a bag of grain.
I thought it was the size of a Tesco bag. The 5p one, not the 10p one.
But, you know, I'm no
Tasting it, he
I'm
watched
just an
4
investigator
hours
from the
ago.
City Watch. And I point on the direction.
Nice. The rest of you see, taking the direction from Cassius, you see the tracks clearly.
Lead on, Cassius.
All right, follow me then.
Okay, you follow the warlock and...
Human warlock. Don't call me by my class.
Okay, sorry, it's being too classist. I'll get racist. You follow the human. What's first say, classism or racism?
Racism.
Racism?
Yeah.
You follow the warlock.
In D&D.
Dreaded warlock then, please.
So I can get individual
double
preferences.
meaning
You'd rather
Yeah,
I were
I don't
racist.
think he's dreaded yet. He's only level 1.
Well, no, I have dreads. Okay,
Yeah, that-
hence the dreaded.
A bedreaded warlock.
Yeah,
Follow the bedreaded warlock.
that one. I'll do that.
Every time you connect with your...
I just don't want to be labelled by like my pact with the devil.
Sure. You follow that individual.
There we go.
With their own hopes and dreams. Trudging through the crowd.
If only you had a tragic backstory. You can tell us about. Okay.
A dark and mysterious past, you
I
say?
forget, are you married?
Not anymore, mate.
Trying to get over her.
Slowly but surely, we keep bringing her up.
All right.
Her name was Z, by the way, so get with it.
Anyone ask that?
Well, you did.
And Corin, I believe. Is the
That's the dog. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
You're such a good man, remembering all these things. I could give a shit.
Well, I remember how long your tail is. 5 foot. Exact.
Yeah, that seems to be really stuck
It's
in
in
your mind.
front of you. I mean, you're not dragging around the corpse of your long deceased wife. I mean, you might as well be.
I dropped the bag and it's like, well, fuck it, all right then. I won't do this.
Outside the city walls, you can see still watchmen. They're pretty low, these walls. They're maybe 7 or 8 feet high. You can easily see the watchmen just kind of talking. See a couple smoking, laughing. You can see the helmets of those doing some high rolls, and they're obviously gambling up there. They're all together not really paying much heed. It's almost as if, it's either not worth their pay or there's some other stuff going on. All the same, go on.
They all look
We should
lazy.
probably stick close to the wall, however. It'd be best if they don't fully see what's going on.
Yeah, let's not draw attention to ourselves.
Now you're reaching the point, the corner almost of the city, where you're going to kind of have to leave it to get to the Traders Road.
Yeah.
That's still pretty normal. And there are a couple of people still trekking away from the farmers market, that it's not conspicuous. It's not completely out of the ordinary that you'd be outside the city walls at this point. So early in the day as well. But you get to the Traders Road, and the tracks bisect the path, the Traders Road completely, and cross over to the other side, heading south past the city. And you follow them. These are wide, barren fields, very kind of low, scraggy grass, weeds, and soon enough you spot a camp.
So at the moment we're moving away from the town of Tazir and moving away from Westgate. This is completely separate.
Yeah.
Yes, you're on the west side of Tazir.
Yeah.
And Westgate's all the way to the east, a couple of days ride east past the city.
It is,
A little bit, yeah.
Why isn't it on the other side?
Geographically,
Why isn't Westgate to the west of Tazir
I'm
specifically?
saying, yeah.
You're right, that's confusing.
how far are we from the camp?
You're pretty close, a couple of 100 feet, so you can see it pretty clearly.
So we can see it pretty clearly, and we're obviously will be very visible to them as well.
Well, if you get any closer, you would. You need to consider an approach. But I'll tell you what you can see, which are 3 small tents clustered about a campfire. There's actually smoke coming from it. And there's a wagon acting as a windbreak. You can see a couple of horses tethered nearby. Alright chaps, we are still keen as shit to hear your thoughts, so you can drop us a email, dragonwingspodcast@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can tweet us at dragonwingspod. You can subscribe to us, and please feel free to leave us a comment and rating. Thanks very much, and we will catch you next time.